Aregawi strikes for home. He's one of the fastest all-time, over 5,000 and 10,000. He knew he had to start this kick from a long way out. Jakob Ingebrigtsen tries to get on terms as the Ethiopian as he hears the bell. Ingerbritsen denied the lead at 200 metres by Aregawi. That was a phenomenal turn of pace for Berihu Aregawi. Ingerbritsen, will he try again down the back straight? There's a furious sprint on for the bronze medal behind. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen and Aregawi, they're only looking at each other. There's danger behind them as well, though.
We turn our attention now to a mouth-watering matchup over 3,000 metres. Can't wait for this one, Hannah.
Big field, 14 men down there, straight final in this 3,000 metres. And that has allowed Jakob Ingebrigtsen what's not an impossible double. He ran the heat to the 1,500 metres yesterday. I think that would have been quite nice, just a bit of a pre-race for him as he looked towards this 3,000. And this is the title that so far has eluded the Norwegian. As with the women, two groups. This outer group here will run the first 100, 120 metres or so on the outside of the track. Bit of cross-country for them, bit of a hill up and down. Sam Parsons of Germany has done a personal best this year, just missed out on the final in Apeldoorn. American-based German, 7:38 this season. Berihu Aregawi just whizzed past him. He's delayed his road debut to be here in Nanjing. James Gormley in Irish vest for the second time in his career. Big cheer for Sun Mingkai of the People's Republic of China. Outside 8 minutes so far this season, but he has set a new best in 2025. He's hoping to set another here this evening. Kai Robinson starts off the second line. He is the Australian record holder. 7:30. Coscoon, similar mark for him, the Irish record holder. Getnet Wale, World Indoor Tour a few years ago. That's why we've got 3 Ethiopians here. Dylan Jacobs, the United States, goes alongside Kawit Sere of Eritrea. There's Cornelius Kemboi of Kenya. And Asai didn't make the 1,500 metre final, but it is a 7:32 man. And there is Jakob Ingebrigtsen, 2-time Olympic champion, 2-time world champion, 22-time European champion, but no times a world indoor champion. He holds up the #1, but he's got to earn that over the next 15 laps. And this could be his biggest contender for the title. Binaman Mihari, 6th place in Paris for the 18-year-old. Set a new world under-20 record this season, 7:29. The only man in this field to have dipped under 7:30 in 2025. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, 7:17 at the end of the track season last year, so we know he's capable of sub 7:30. He's just not done it so far this season. A bit of calm before these 14 men set off on their 15 laps. Congested track, let's hope that doesn't cause any issues for these men. They can all stay on their feet, they can all have the chance at a wonderful championship race. As expected, Jakob Ingebrigtsen race walks off the start line, lets everybody push and shove around him. It's a tactic we're used to seeing from him. It still makes me nervous. Someone goes down in the middle of that field, they might impact him. And I think it's a risky tactic, but it's one that certainly works for the Norwegian. He'll read the race. Andrew Koskren didn't make it through the 1,500 metre heats yesterday, and he's got a good turn of pace, Koskren. I think he'll be happy to let this dawdle in. And there goes Sam Parsons of Germany. He's the one to get this race going. A sedate 34 through the first 200 metres. And I think that's around about 8:30 pace or so. So these men can run much, much, much quicker.
And look at this, Ingerbritsen not content to sit at the back, and we don't often in a major championship see him going to the front this early. Just deciding that he wants to get clear of the traffic. He hasn't put in a massive injection of pace, but it is significant, Hannah, that he's decided to place himself at the front, where his normal tactic is to let 5, 6, 7, 8 laps go with himself at the back.
It is unusual. I mean, the championship record, 7:34, Haile Gebrselassie, that's already gone. You know, they're already too slow for me through the first 400 metres. And there goes Getnet Wale. I did think in one of these 3 Ethiopians, maybe not Mihari, he's got a good turn of pace, but perhaps the likes of Aregawi, he's a little bit further back at the moment as well, but getting at Wale, deciding that 2:45, I did say it, so yeah, it's that roundabout, that's 8:15 pace or so. It's not that quick for these men. And getting at Wale, he's been 4th in no less than 4 global finals, mainly over the steeplechase, that's his preferred distance. And I think he'll be bidding for a spot on the podium. I mentioned it's been a decade of Ethiopian medals in this event, and they'll be keen to keep that tradition going.
Wale was the forerunner to Lamacha Germa, because Wale was always so close to the podiums in the steeplechase, and then as his sort of prowess on the steeplechase began to wane, Germa came through, and try as he might, he just can't beat El Bakali. Anyway, that's a battle for the summer. Look at Koskinen paying close attention, and also good to see the American Jacobs taking closer order towards the front. And Koskinen's had a great season, hasn't he? A couple of national records.
Andrew Koskinen, he has had a brilliant 2025. When you look at those big races on the World Indoor Tour, national records, personal best, 15-mile 3K, but he would have been disappointed with 6th in Apeldoorn. I think he felt he didn't get his tactics right. He didn't make the final of the 15 yesterday. I think Koskinen is going to have a chip on his shoulder, perhaps inspired by Kate O'Connor and that silver in the pentathlon on the first day. And Berihu Aregawi, he went to the lead, but he didn't really go for it. And Andrew Koskinen, coached by Helen Clitheroe, the European indoor champion back in 2011, she knows their way around a 3,000 indoors. There would have been a game plan between Clitheroe and Koskinen, and they will have known that it wasn't going to be super quick from the off. And Koskinen, this is a long run for home for the Irishman, perhaps just trying to spread it out, trying to whittle it away and leave those 7:30 men there and get rid of kind of the fast finishing 7:40 kind of guys. And, the athletes are taking this move seriously from Koskinen behind. You see Mahari is trying to latch right onto the back of it, and Ingerbritsen at the moment is a little bit boxed in.
Watch Kemboy coming through as well. He hasn't done much so far, but all of a sudden deciding he wants to make sure there's Kenyan intrigue and interest in this race, and they're all paying close attention to his move at the front, that's for certain.
That was a serious move from Cornelius Kemboy. What I'm enjoying in this race is every time someone makes a move, they're following it through. Often we see a lot of athletes make semi-moves. They kind of kick on and then try and tuck in, and it just causes mess, and I think it's a waste of energy. And getting at Wale has done really well to get himself onto the shoulder of Kemboy. And Aregawi, I think he was set for a half-marathon debut, so he'll have lots of endurance in his legs. He's probably still speeding up, probably still getting up to top speed, but he is going to make it at the moment. 3 Ethiopians in the top 6. That's a big move from Kai Robinson. Everyone very excited about Cam Myers, that man on the outside in the green of Australia. Not 3 seconds off the mark Cam Myers set earlier on in the season, but this is what happened. You see Jacobs trying to get close, but not following it through, and then athletes just running into the back of him.
And look, Ingerbritsen is boxed in at the moment. Okay, he's got incredible turn of speed, and he can clearly and quickly extricate himself from difficult scenarios, but we're beginning to wind up here, and Ingerbritsen on the right of picture, wearing that hip sticker 2, needs to get on the outside here, and I think he's starting to do so.
This should be taken seriously by the whole field. Kai Robinson, a 7:30 man, coached by David Ritzenheim. Jared Nagust took the bronze medal in Paris from that training group ahead of Jakob Ingebrigtsen. So Kai Robinson fancying himself as the next man to cause an upset against the great Norwegian. Just 3 laps to go. They are getting motoring. They are really moving here. It's still such a big bunch of them.
Ingerbritsen going for the inside line, but Aregawi, twice a world cross-country silver medalist and a silver over the 10,000 last year at the Olympics. He's holding the Olympic champion over 5,000 metres. What an intriguing climax here. 2 distance running gold medalists from Paris. No more than a metre between them. Ethiopia or Norway potentially for this title, but there's loads of others still in contention as well.
300 metres to go in the men's 3,000 metre final. Aregawi strikes for home. He's one of the fastest all time over 5,000 and 10,000. He knew he had to start this kick from a long way out. Jakob Ingebrigtsen tries to get on terms as the Ethiopian as he hears the bell. Ingebrigtsen denied the lead at 200 metres by Aregawi. That was a phenomenal turn of pace for Berihu Aregawi. Ingebrigtsen, will he try again down the back straight? There's a furious sprint on for the bronze medal behind. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen and Aregawi, they're only looking at each other. There's danger behind them as well though. Ingebrigtsen denied by Tafera in Belgrade, but this And that was not as easy as he might have expected. That was not as easy as I think many of the world could have expected. And look at that, another bronze medal for Australia. Kai Robinson fought all the way with Gilman to the line, and he joins Jessica Hull with a bronze medal. But that for Berihu Aregawi, I mean, if he's training for the roads, he shouldn't have any speed in his legs. And he had it. I think Ingerbritsen just thought he was going to be able to get the better of the Ethiopian at the bell. And Aregawi said, no, not yet, not yet, not yet. And Ingebrigtsen, he was patient down the back straight. I think it was a good choice from the Norwegian not to try again down the back straight and just launch one final attack in the last 20 or 30 metres.
That was an absolutely brilliant race because Aregawi wasn't frightened of Ingerbritsen, and we saw with Jake Whiteman beating Ingerbritsen over the 15 in Eugene, we saw with Josh Kerr beating him over the 15 in Budapest, that Ingerbritsen doesn't like being bullied. He likes to have these races his own way, but where that caused him to crumble 2 years ago and last year in the Olympic final, this time he had his tactics absolutely right. He didn't panic when Aregawi desperately held the inside line on that bend going into the last circuit, and he turned it into a brilliant finish. Thoroughly deserves this world indoor title, but Aregawi also deserves massive credit, Hannah, for really taking it to the Olympic champion. That was an absolute treat. The gold medalist over 5,000 from Paris against the gold medalist over 10,000 at a distance neither of them often compete on, certainly on the global stage. That was a brilliant race. And look at Kai Robinson coming round to deny Gilman. I thought Gilman had got the bronze there. It was a fantastic run, but Robinson showed why so many people are excited about him in Australia and took him by a few hundredths. That was one of the best races over 3,000 that I've seen for a long time. It was brilliant.
And Ingerbritsen, he doesn't underestimate his competitors and the events. You know, he comes across as cool and calm and collected, but he does take things seriously. And he will have been ready for anything today. But I do wonder if he thought, you know, I've just got to be there with 300 to go, and this race is mine. His closing speed a few weeks ago in Appledorn, 3:33 for his last 1,500. You know, that was faster than anyone ran in qualification yesterday. And you know, so I think he would have thought, I'm going to be absolutely fine in the second half of the race. And Aregawi, I'd say, come on, mate, stay on the track, don't go to the roads. We want to see you in that 5,000, in that 10,000 in Tokyo, because he's such a special athlete. He's evergreen. He's been there in thereabouts in the all-time rankings for so long, and that was a run for the ages from the Ethiopian. He extends the Ethiopian streak on the podium to another championships.